Noninkables. Hello and welcome to Noninkables. Hello and welcome to Noninkables, the podcast where I talk about my journey through Lorcana. We are on episode 16 of season 2, and this week we played in a local on Friday, and then we played in a bigger tournament called Bibbidi Bobbidi Brawl on Sunday. The whole week just consisted of me trying to play red purple because Tyler said it was a good deck and me losing. He did really good with red purple, and he had posted like some stats on our like group Discord of his like Lorcanito stats, and it was just him like winning. And I was like, oh, mine look exactly the same except it's just me losing. And I was like, what are you losing to? I'm like, literally everything. And then I ended up playing purple steel, like an aggro purple steel. So on Friday, we went to DVY, our local thing, and it's kind of blowing up, I think. Or it's like bigger. It's like steady and bigger. I think we had like 4 people, and that's with like, I don't think Tyler went, and then Kevin, who usually goes, didn't go either. So like without some of the regulars, we still had 14. We had some new people, which was exciting. At that tournament, that tournament ended up first. I went 3-0, and it's best of 3, so it was, my game record was 6-2-0, and took purple steel. Round 1, I played Brian, and he was playing red purple at the time, and so just trying to go, so I just went super fast against him, which as purple steel aggro, it worked. Round 2, I played against Nick, and I beat him 2-0, and he was playing, what was he playing? Oh, he was playing Amber Steel, which is not usually a good matchup for me, but I think he bricked, and so that helps me out a lot. And then round 3, I played against Ben, who was playing green blue, and then same thing with that, just went very fast and won. I ended up getting a pin. I think I picked the Mad Hatter because we already had 2 bolts and 1 Mad Hatter, so now I have 2 Mad Hatter pins and 2 bolt pins. And so if you're looking to trade pins, let me know, because don't need 2. And I got a promo card, and then they had like extra of the Kronk promo that you could get if you bought a booster box. And so I got one of those. I did buy like 2 cases from them, but they only gave me one promo, but whatever, that's fine. It's really funny because they also, it's like mostly a sports card store, and they do, I forgot what it's called, Whatnot, I think it's called, where like you open packs on stream and people can like pay to, I don't know, it's some sort of bidding gambling thing. But anyways, because of that, like now they do it at the same time we do our Lorcana tournament, so now the music is always like super good. Before we used to just play Disney music, and now it's like hype club music, which I also like. So very fun. And then in terms of picking my deck, I picked purple steel, and I actually tried a couple purple steels. So I tried an aggro list, I tried JDDR's list, and then I also tried this like German person's list because it had Tinc in it, and I wanted to play Tinc. But to me, I feel like when it was like a more mid-rangey deck, there was a lot more decisions to be made compared to an aggro deck, and I didn't want to make that many decisions. I wanted to play like an easier deck to play, so I went with aggro. So then we went to Bibbidi Bobbidi Brawl, which was on Sunday. It ended up being like 53 people, and it's a competition where you could win, like first place I think got the foil Cinderella promo from DLC, and then I think there was like a Rapunzel one and a Let It Go, like all the foil versions from DLC, and then like some cards and stuff. In that one, I ended up, let's see, I did so. I ended up placing 20th. So Gary ended up placing 11th. I was 20th. Tyler was 25th. And Ryan was 45th. And I think my final opponent in round 6 was Legendary. And he said that if either of us won our last round, because we ended up drawing, we might have been able to make it into top 8. But I don't think we realized that until like after we played and like submitted our scores. But I was looking at the final standings, and I don't think I would have been able to make it. I think he might have made it because his tiebreakers were better than mine, because we had the same we would have had the same number of points as 7th through 11th place, and I think his tiebreakers were better. So, yeah. Okay. So, round 1, I played against Riri, which is Ricky. He's part of the Toon Titans Sacramento crew, and he was playing red, blue. And then I asked him about it after, but I think all of the Toon Titans crew were playing some sort of red, blue with like their own spice. So I know that because I think other people played Legendary, they said he was playing like Merlin's Carpet Bag, and then Ricky was playing Maurice's Bookshop, and I ended up drawing against him. I think on the play, I just went super fast. It was super easy. On the draw, obviously a lot harder, and then he did some Pirate's Life stuff, Pirate's Life nonsense. And so we drew. Round 2, I played against Colton, who was playing Amber Steel, and I lost. I think that matchup is very difficult because he's able to get rid of my characters a lot more efficiently than I can get rid of his. Round 3, I ended up playing Narissa, and she was playing Red Steel. And luckily, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'd played against Red Steel at our locals. And then, of course, I played it in Sacramento. So I was like, okay, I just can't quest until it's very safe because they run things like Goof. And then if they put like a Mushu on the board with a Goof or a Calhoun or a Robin Hood, it's like a really big lore swing. And so I won that one 2-0, although it was kind of close. But I think also part of it was that she got a little unlucky because she didn't ever see Mushu, even though there's, I think, 4 in her deck. And I feel like that is kind of like the key linchpin card of the deck, which is something I've been thinking about a lot because I think there's a lot of decks that I think are like good ideas, but then there's like one card in the deck that you really, really need it to get it to work. And then if you don't see that card, then your deck kind of is like a suckier deck and like it doesn't work as well. And so that's like something I consider now when I look at deck lists is like, does this deck rely on like one card a lot? Because then if you don't see that card, it's not great, right? Okay. I won that one. And then in round 4, I played against Megan K. And they were playing Purple Steel. So it was a mirror. And we drew, and the last game was super close. I couldn't draw like a goat or a King Cobra or anything like that. And they were playing Purple Steel, but I think theirs played White Rose, which mine did not. Mine played like the 1-drop Maleficent. Theirs did not. There's just like a little bit more, like slightly more control than mine, but still pretty aggressive. And just both of ours, a lot of like instant lore game. So I think we ended that game like 19-20. The next round, I played against Pet Pika, who was playing Amber Steel, and I ended up winning that one 2-0. I think that his deck was a little maybe unclear of its direction, of its thesis statement, because he was playing one copy of You Have Forgotten Me, and then like the normal Amber Steel stuff, but with like Prince Naveen, which I feel like you don't see that much anymore. And I think he had both Ursula, Vanessa, and Troubadour. Then I know there was, in one of the games, he super bricked because he had ink 2 aerials. And I think his hand was like Naveen, Whole New World, and then he drew like another Whole New World, and then he drew like a Grab Your Swords or something like that. And then the other time, I think I was on the play, and then I ended up like Fire the Cannons, smashing all of his stuff. But Amber Steel is really hard because everything, a lot of the stuff is like 1/4, or like Troubadour has Resist, it's basically 1/4. And my deck, except for maybe Fox, doesn't deal very efficiently with that stuff. But I did end up winning that one. And then in round 6, which was the last round, I played Legendary. Legendary was playing Red Blue. I won the first one, which is surprising because in the first game, he played 2 McDuck Manners. And my little baby deck I call it a baby deck because everyone is like very weak. Everyone's like a 0-1 or a 1-1 or a 2-4. Like the only big hitters I have are like Fox and then Crab. And I think I have like Sneeze and Calhoun's, and that's like the biggest strength characters I have. But I ended up winning even though he played 2 Mythic Manners. So I'm very proud of my baby deck taking down 2 Manners. And then in the second game, I ended up losing because, well, one, I forgot that Be Prepared existed as a card, which is very ironic because that morning, in the car, I was like saying to Brian, I was like, okay, I just need to remember that Rapunzel exists as a card, so don't fall into a Rapunzel trap when I play Amber Steel. And then I need to remember that Be Prepared is a card, so don't go wide when they're at 6 ink. And I totally forgot about Be Prepared and wiped my board. And then he did like Maui Shark stuff. But I was able to get rid of, I think, 2 Maui Sharks because of like combo stuff. Also, I realized with my deck, so my deck has like snakes and stuff, so I would quest something that was like a 3/3, like a snake or a Smee or something, to get his Maui Shark to attack into me, and then I would just fire the cannon, and that would get rid of the Maui Shark. And that was like my favorite combo to do because they don't expect that. They think like, oh, if you want to get rid of my Maui Shark, you have to play like a Peter Pan and you sacrifice a character. But everybody forgot about little Fire the Cannons, which is like one of my favorite cards. So we ended up drawing. But okay, so technically none of us made it to top 8, which is kind of sad. But there were some wins. One win, Tyler didn't get any warnings in this competition, which was our goal. And like even before it started, John, the judge, came over and was like, hey, have you guys checked Tyler's deck? Because I feel like since Battle of the Bay last year, he's had a run of like warnings and deck issues. And I was like, oh, I messaged him the night before to be like, check your deck list. Because last time when we played in Sacramento, it was like a deck list problem that his deck list didn't update. And so then his actual deck didn't match because Dreamboard didn't update. So like, check your deck list. And in the morning, like, we were bringing him like a Maui fish hook because he couldn't find it because his cards are unorganized. Those are his own words. I'm not throwing shade. I feel like organizing cards is very time consuming and not for everyone. But so we're bringing him a Maui hook, and then we're like, oh, we should just bring him some like enchanted and stuff to bling out his deck. And so we brought him some enchanted, and then Gary also brought him some enchanted. And so he's like going through his deck, right? And he's counting his deck, and he has an extra card. And he's like, what? Oh, because he gave me like 3 Mauis to switch out for Mauis, enchanted Mauis, and then he was like counting his cards. He's like, I have an extra card, I don't know what it is. Turns out it was an extra crab. So he took that out, and then he like he sleeved the enchanted Tremaine and Sisu and put them in. And then I was like, hey, did you take out the non-enchanted ones from your deck? He was like, oh no. And so luckily I caught that. Otherwise, there would be way more uninkables in his deck. And so, so Tyler and Gary both played red, purple. And then they last minute added a Maui hook, which ended up being like MVP for Gary. Not that great for Tyler, which is hilarious. It's one of like Gary's favorite cards, I would say, and also one of mine. So I'm always excited when Maui's hook can be played. But it ended up being really good for Gary because he played against a red-green evasives deck. So Maui hook was clutch. And then I think it also helped him against like Blurple and red-blue. And then Brian played green-purple. And then I played purple steel. In terms of like the overall meta, I would say so all of our team was all pretty much different decks except for Tyler and Gary. As my earring falls out. And then Toontown Titans was playing red blue, but everyone kind of had their own twist from it. So they played red blue as a team, like a team deck at the Sacramento tournament. And then because of Harem Ban, I think everyone put in their own tech of how to get cards. And then all of Tinc, which is Ed's team, played Blurple. So there was like a ton of Blurple. And then in the end, the finals was, I think, someone posted it. Let me see. In the end, the finals there was, where did they post it? They posted it somewhere. Let's see. The finals was 4 blue purple, all from Team, 2 red blues, 1 green blue, and 1 steel song. And I feel like everyone was teched against Diablo. So yeah, that was the tournament. And I think it ended up being won, let's see, by Steel Song, played by Absolute. So yeah, Amber Steel ended up winning the tournament. I wish I could play Amber Steel, but every set I try it, and every set I get only singers or only songs. So I've kind of accepted that it is not for me. But maybe next set will be the set I can play it. Okay, the other benefit to none of us making top 8 was that we didn't have to wait for anybody and we could get our usual hot pot right after. So we ended up going to a place called Zhangfei Hot Pot in Fremont, and it was delicious. It was all you can eat, and it was so spicy. My tongue was spiced off. I love it. So good. And then this past week, I also posted a lot of cards in our shop. I basically went and because we have like French cards and Chinese cards, if we had like French and Chinese versions, I just took out the English versions and put those in the store. And we got a bunch more sales this week. So like I feel like past couple weeks we've been getting maybe like 5 sales a week. And then this past week it's been like 5 a day. And I think people are just prepping for set champs, which is next. Currently, our store is closed because I'm going away. I'm going to go visit. I'm going to go to like a conference also to visit my parents for a week. And so the store is closed until next week. So sorry about that. And then there also will be no podcast next week because I will probably have not played any Lorcana. If I somehow happen to play some Lorcana, maybe I'll post something. I am, however, I bought like a case of Chinese cards. So I made the 3 starter decks out of Chinese cards from first chapter. And I did bring those. I'm going to bring those and hopefully teach my parents how to play Lorcana so that they can also play. My only worry is that if my dad gets really into it, he's going to get really good, which is great, but also like scary because growing up, my dad was definitely one of the parents that was like, I'm not going to ever let you win just because you're a child. You have to like earn it. And he likes playing games like Chinese chess and Go, which are very strategy. And so I worry because he's retired, he has a lot of time. He's going to get like obsessed and then be very good. And then I will be overshadowed by my father, but whatever. More people to the king, right? So I'm excited about that. I did actually look to see if there were like the local game stores in Vegas. And I found one called People's Card Game Store or something, People's Choice Card Game Store, something like that. It's like a little bit off the strip. And they run Lorcana 3 times a week, which is like crazy to me. That just seems like so how do they support that? And the store's like pretty big. And then they have for their league, they have like different levels. So there's like a standard entry for a league, which is $6, and then they have like a competitive league, which is $12. But I think everybody plays together. And then if you're in the standard one, you just get a booster pack per win plus a promo card. If you're in the competitive one, I think you get 2 booster pack or 2 pro. I think it depends on how you do, but you can get 1 or 2 promos. And then like per win, like I think they play 4 rounds of best of 2. So if you have 4 wins, you get 6 booster packs, 2 pins, or 2 promos. So you could get a pin or a promo. Yeah, I'm just impressed that they can run it 3 times a week. And I did think about like bringing a deck just in case, but I was like, no. I'm there to like go to a conference and also visit with my parents. I should not ignore them to play for it. But yeah, I may stop in the store to see if they have cards that I want to buy. So no podcast next week. So we'll return the week after that. And then we'll be deep into set champs, which is very exciting. I mean, I feel like maybe less exciting than other sets. I feel like the set after the Hiram ban, I feel like I'm still mourning Hiram. And I was so excited to play the Hiram Chicha build. And now that that is not an option, I feel like I'm still mourning. So set champs is coming up. I still don't know what I want to play for set champs. I wish I could put Amber Steel because I think it's very strong, but that deck hates me. Well, maybe I'll try it for like the 50th time and it'll work. I was thinking about maybe playing Blurple, but every time I play Blurple, I feel like it doesn't have any removal and I don't like that. So I probably have to play a deck with either steel or red. I also thought about just going rogue and making my own deck that is silly. I feel like because there's no big events, to practice for. I feel like set champs is kind of low stakes this set and to just play something fun. The other thing is I may jump on Gary's wagon and we may play Jafar Wheel. So that might be an option too. So we'll have to see and we'll have to tinker around with that list. So I don't know. What are you guys going to play for set champs? Based on what I've sold in the store, it seems like people are going to be playing DKP's Red Blue or Amber Steel. Let's see what else. Turner Dogs I think, based on what people have bought. Those are like the big decks. And then also a lot of people buying like Mushu and Mulan General. So maybe Red Steel? I don't know. Yeah, let me know what you guys are going to play. And that is it for me. As always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables like me. All right, bye.